Von Fry, legendary badass, not shy, telling you how it is, Von Fry will die.
Well, I'm sure that you can tell by this one fixed camera angle and lack of chroma keyed energy drink in one hand, this is going to be a long-winded rant. Now, usually I save those for something in contemporary entertainment, be it a movie that is in theaters that just opened, or a video game that I just completed, because you guys need a review from a guy who actually beat a game, and not the so-called critics on the big websites who simply play it for a few days, and then have some schlub in the office do the video. I don't do you like that. I'm reviewing Pain and Gain. This is a movie I picked up at Target on Black Friday for $9. I've never claimed to do a DVD or Blu-ray review, but I'll say this is sparse as far as that material goes. No animation in the menu. What? I've got like a 97 Blade Runner that says it has animated titles, be it stock from Warner Brothers. No music in the menu. Scene selection, setup, play, that's it. My first DVD, also a Michael Bay film, was Bad Boys. It had audio commentary along with other stuff. Oh man, what's up with that? Now, I've never seen a Blu-ray before. I only watched the DVD, so that's what I can tell you about that. If the Blu-ray works same way, so be it. But Vaughn, why did you pick up this movie? Why review this now? This movie came out in what, March or April? This has been on the shelf since, what, maybe August or September, something like that? Why now, Vaughn? Well, it's this simple, guys. On the cover, and this is her breakout role, future ex-wife Barr. Barr and I met around the time Pain and Gain came out, and we've been in close contact ever since then. She laughs at my jokes. I laugh at her jokes. She's very funny, very witty, insightful. And she even likes my Instagram pictures, which I'm posting with an HTC One, guys. They come out jaggy and low resolution. She likes them anyways. That's how you know it's true love. We're looking at moving together. We're getting a flat in Beverly Hills. And I've even come up with names for our children. Nikki, Bear, Dutch Mill. Pain and Gain is from director Michael Bay. Something of an auteur. When Michael Bay makes a movie, it has the Michael Bay stamp on it. And I know that a lot of people like to stomp on his neck. Oh, you think that you're some hotshot because you can put Michael Bay down. Oh yeah, look at me. I'm such a fan of high-end cinema that Michael Bay wouldn't know social satire if it sat on his face. Ha ha, pip pip cheerio. I've never acted like that around him. I would say his first two movies, Bad Boys and The Rock, those movies are bar-setting action films from the mid-90s. You look at contemporaries and they are, by contrast, a slow ride to Grandma's house in the snow. Yeah, I think that he knows his stuff as far as visuals go. Nuanced storytelling... There's never a lot in the way of complicated double-crossing, and so for that, I can't say that there's a lot to explain about this movie. You got Mark Wahlberg here playing Danny Lugo. I probably said the name wrong, and I don't give a shit. And this is based on a true story of the Sun Gym Gang, who in the mid-90s in Miami were a bunch of personal trainer bodybuilder types who kidnapped this guy Kershaw, played by Tony Shalhoub. And this guy, he's running his mouth at the gym. Yeah, I've got all these offshore business dealings. So, yeah, what do you think it is? I'm in Colombia. Yeah, I'm Colombian, so, yeah. So, he's running his mouth, talking a bigger game. It turns out that he has a Schlotsky's franchise. He's not running drugs. So, they said, hey, well, they thought that he had gained all of his means illegally. Now, he saw this Johnny Woo seminar. This is Ken Jeong. And he gets this self-help guru message in him. You deserve more. You're a doer. So he's going to go out and take it from this guy. Make America a better place. So he kidnaps this dude with his bros here, The Rock and Anthony Mackie, who is relegated to just a single picture on the back of the Blu-ray DVD combo. In most of the promotional material, Anthony Mackie's missing. I mean, come on, Barr has a smaller role and she's right here. But hey, look at her. She's gorgeous. So Yeah, I feel bad for Anthony, but on the same hand, The Rock, you kind of steal the show. You were quite funny. You got a lot of charisma. People compare you to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think that here's your downfall. You put on hard with the charisma. You try very hard to be funny. Arnold maybe doesn't even try and comes out funny. You watch Predator, that movie's freaking hilarious. Run! Get to the chopper! Kill me! Kill me, I'm here! Do it now! It's good stuff. You don't have anything quite like that, but you are skilled. Okay? So, it's very straightforward. They kidnap the guy. He learns who they are. They try to kill him. Drive over his head twice, which I guess actually happened, or they at least attempted to. A lot of this is actually very true, and it's a little bit caught up in itself. This movie really takes off and runs away from itself, guys. There's maybe too many narratives. I thought it was clever at first. You have Mark Wahlberg saying some insightful things. It seems like maybe he has some brain to him. Then everybody gets in on the act. The Rock, he has some stuff to say. Barr gets narration. The PI Kershaw hires to sort out this mess after he escapes with his life is played by Ed Harris, who gets narration too, and is really the only likable person in the movie. Yeah, I kind of always hated the critic who said, well, the characters are not likable. I've been able to root against characters strong enough that I'm cheering on their comeuppance. These guys are no likable, less likable, hateable than the victim. Tony Shalhoub here. So, where does that leave you? In a 2-hour movie, you don't give a damn. I'm not pulling for them. I'm not rooting against them. I'm just kind of there for the ride. And that's a big problem. Another big problem. Nothing for a movie that is based on true story with a surprising lot that is true. Nothing in the way of the dialogue sounds grounded in reality at all. People say things that are wildly inappropriate, that are not fitting with the times. Barr, I thought that, I didn't think your character was greatly written, but I thought you brought a lot to it. I thought, honey, you did a great job, and the kids are going to be proud of you. But is Serena really going to be hanging upside down in the closet of Marky Mark's place with night vision goggles on, waiting for him to come home? Is she going to talk about penises and make weird off-color remarks at a neighborhood watch get-together? Does anybody in this movie take anything going on seriously here? I thought Marky Mark probably played his role the straightest and probably needed to. I thought that was fine. Tony Shalhoub I usually like. I hated him here. He picks up barely any weight and he's all boastful about that. It was just so outlandish and unbelievable. And the movie has some surreal moments that don't quite get there. The Rock, he blows all of his money on cocaine, so they have to go and find somebody else. They extort money from him, right? But instead just kidnap him, they accidentally kill him and his wife, and that's really where the Son Jim gang's downfall comes about. He takes the money, and this is just a quick cutaway, and he's holding it, and breathes in. It doesn't go up his nose. Maybe some surreal effects would have helped here. Otherwise, it's got that high kinetic energy you know and expect and maybe even love for Michael Bay films. That I know I love. It's got that going for it, but it's so wafer thin in other regards. They could have merged some of this together, made Kershaw and the guy they ended up killing the same person, killed him. Hell, would have worked for me. I didn't hate Ed Harris, but did he really need to get in on the narrative game? I didn't think so. So, not only is it maybe not as funny as it should have been, I think if they played it straighter like Fargo you can get more laughs out of. I thought that it could have worked better in that regard. If maybe there was a few characters that just toned it down a little bit, and just the way that they're written. Barr, I'm not saying you were bad. This is your breakout role, honey. You got a bright future, okay? I'm just saying that maybe Serena's a little too outlandish. Too much so to be believable. And, what else you got there? It's 2 hours. 2 hours of not really caring what's going to happen. Some of this is shot digital. You can tell at night it breaks up. There's some pixelation. I find that problematic. There's the GoPro inside shots from like the steering wheel of the car going down the street. Not entirely necessary and very distorted. I think that Michael Bay kind of got away from himself again. You know, look at Michael Bay's films. You kind of see Armageddon as the one where he ran off with it. First half of the movie, I'm fine. Second half, it's getting kind of weird. And even then, it's a better movie than so many of the blockbusters that come out lately. And I particularly like how it looks like somebody directed this movie instead of studio bean counters making decisions for you. I appreciate that. I really do. But maybe Michael Bay just really can't handle the material that he thinks he's going for here. You know, maybe sharp, witty humor isn't really his thing. They end up with a lot of racist overtones in one of those Transformers. It's like, is that guy really playing the coon Autobot? Like, you kind of end up with things like that, and you're thinking here, like, are these people really that out of place? And what's with the anachronisms? It takes place in 95. I see a Plymouth Prowler, which I'm pretty darn sure you couldn't get till 97. I see 1998 Crown Vic cop cars all over the place. An LCD screen next to Kershaw over in his hospital bed. Why not just set this movie in like 99? Or maybe set it now instead of making the effort to kind of pretend it took place in the 90s, when I'm not really seeing a lot in the way of 90s fashion. I'm not seeing... Watch Bad Boys. Those guys dress more like 94, 95. You go watch the club scenes. I'm not saying it's terribly dated, but it's a little bit different than what you get today, which this doesn't actually match. You think a guy would know mid-90s Miami, it would be Michael Bay. But, yeah, I guess not. Would I watch this again? Where am I siding with it? It's gotta be the most, I wouldn't say controversial, but Pain and Gain has divided people. I've got people who hate Michael Bay telling me this is the Michael Bay movie they like. I've got people who tell me, oh, Vaughn, it's great, it's so much fun. Then I've got people telling me they hated it. There's a conflict. Where do I go? I'm giving it maybe 2 stars out of 4. Somewhere in the middle, far from great. Maybe not even qualifying for good, but an acceptable, though failing grade. You can pass, but, you go on to the next grade, but it doesn't look good on your report card with a D, I guess. So, Pain and Gain, would I watch it again? Arguably, it could happen. Interesting visuals. It's certainly not as forgettable as some other films. I like that someone made it their baby, if by overproducing it, that's your baby. But, otherwise it's just kind of a ho-hum thing. You didn't need the anachronisms, you didn't need the characters being this outlandish, and you didn't need a runtime of 2 hours. That's my 2 cents.
Do, 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 do.